For almost 2 years, this canvas has served me well in creating a very low-pressure space for me to explore and practice painting. I have no idea how many paintings are on this canvas in total. My guess would be that there are at least 50. Today I want to peel back some of the layers and see how many of those old pieces I can uncover. Quick content warning, at 1 minute and 10 seconds I start using a knife to make cuts and scrapes in the paint. You can jump to 2:37 to skip that part. I went into this with the idea that I wanted to have the canvas sort of look like the inside of a jawbreaker when I was finished, with strips of color from all the old paintings that I'd done. I thought that I might be able to get that effect just by peeling back layers of paint, but that just brought me straight to the bottom of the canvas. I ended up trying sandpaper and a knife and fire and water. I never got much of that look that I had imagined or hoped for, but I really thoroughly enjoyed this process. When I'm painting, I spend a lot of time in my head trying to find ways to develop skills and find a cohesive art style and make something that I think is pretty or that I think other people will find pretty or interesting or impactful. And when I was doing this, I wasn't thinking about any of that. It almost felt like I wasn't thinking about anything. I was just creating or destroying or however you want to look at that. And the result isn't something that I'll hold on to for very long, but for now I can look at it as a temporary time capsule of my art over the last few years that isn't centered on my growth or development, which is kind of refreshing because I think it can be really hard not to look back on your work or on yourself in a judgmental way, wondering why you haven't improved as much as you'd like, given the amount of time or effort you've put in. And it's great to use that as motivation moving forward, but it can also be really creatively draining if you get stuck there for too long. And when that happens for me, I find it really helpful just to play for a while. That's definitely what this whole project has felt like. From filming the last 10 paintings to whatever's going on here, it felt like play. And a bit like solving some sort of puzzle that only I knew the answer to. Up until this point, I thought my goal was to uncover the paintings I had done earlier on this canvas. But when I started to see one coming through really clearly, I realized that that wasn't what I wanted at all. I wanted it to be fragmented and illegible. I didn't want to be able to identify the colors and shapes as anything beyond what they are now, which is what's left behind. Once I realized what I wanted this to be, I leaned into the idea of including bits and pieces from earlier in the process. I reattached pieces of old canvas and paint with hot glue. I added torn layers from my cardboard palettes and even some of the paper towel that I had used when I was making the paintings. The end result is an absolute disaster, and I'm really happy with it.
You set it on fire?
Yep.
In the house?
Yep.